What's up everyone, Monster here with the Grim Aftermath show, and today we're going to be discussing a couple deck lists. I managed to get 3 deck list mines and 2 others from the Critical Games and Hobbies skirmish event that was this past Saturday. It was held on the same day as the Max Level Gaming skirmish that was 2 hours away in Cleveland. We had about 8 people, but Dead on Board Gaming Vinny did manage to win our event with a prism list. He does have a YouTube channel, Dead on Board Gaming. I'd be sure to check that out. I'll leave a link in the description down below, so I'm sure I'll do a deck tag, but I managed to get my deck list plus 2 others from the event. But anyway, let's get to it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into those deck lists, some of them from the Critical Games and Hobbies skirmish event. Now we're going to start with Rocco's Tower Smash, and this is probably going to raise some eyebrows as to what you're about to see right here. If we have a look here, this is a No Foes, Arcanite Skullcap, Creative Fist, and Tectonic Plating and Time Skippers. I sent me some screenshots, didn't have time to upload the list. I'm not all entirely certain on what kind of no rune he brought, just in case of the wizard matchup, but I'm just taking a guess he would want no rune, hood, boots, and gloves, and have access to tectonic plating because you can create a search token discounting their attacks. No doubt about that, but anyway. I'm sure you're going to be looking to the right here, and yes, that is 6 Towering Titans. And while he did not drop one against me, because I elected to go first, because he was either going to be dropping some Towering Titans or he was going to do some damage, no doubt about that. But anyway, he's got the 6 Towering Titans. He runs no sigils, blessing, deliverance. He's got crippling crush, and I put out a video right before this, and he used it very well because especially right after that Steelblade Supremacy turn I had, he used it extremely well, truth be told. And I probably should have used that route that was in my arsenal to push for more damage, but it was sitting in my arsenal for quite a while, and I was like, I wanted to try to maximize route, but he played around it and crippling crushed me afterwards, and I was like, oh man. Then of course he has a singleton pummel, which he used to defeat me with. I didn't realize he was running a single pummel in his list, but you'll notice he's trying to maximize throughout this list, maximizing how powerful Blessing Deliverance is. It's got the Spinal Crush, which is going to be good for against Ninja, but also against Shane as well, to go wide time. Yeah, Spinal Crush is definitely good right there, and Carlet's Crush, it's standard edition, just about a Guardian Blitz deck, just so you can hit that blue requirement, and it does have an annoying effect though. Even though it doesn't hit for a lot, it has an annoying effect. And there's Choke Slam, might come in handy against some decks, but not a whole lot. Buckling Blow, Buckling Blow deals 4 put it minus counter and target equipment they control. That's not bad at all either for wearing down the armor. That's what Guardian wants to do. Now, Cranial Crush, where exactly can Cranial Crush? It used to be, something for example, Dory players don't want to see it, or even for that matter, but in Post-Monarch, I would have to say there's hardly any other decks that really wants to draw cards other than Dory's Steelblade Supremacy. It's honestly hard to say what other decks are doing it, but actually it might have a more impact against the auto Bravo decks because of Blessing Deliverance. Those kind of effects, no doubt about that. I definitely do like the fact that Crush Confidence is in here because it's a relevant effect because the amount of hero abilities, for example, Shane for that matter, or even Prism for that matter, it can have an impact against them as well. But Dory players, it depends on the type of hand. If you know you're gonna get hit, you can play your hand in a way to where you go for one big attack and say, try to push for damage without trying to go for more Dawnbleed counters. Or to find down. Alright, more life gain in the deck. That's not bad. And Crush the Weak. This is actually a very good card, especially in this meta, simply because if it deals 4 or more damage to hero, they can't play attack action cards with 3 or less base during the next action phase. And it's reasonable costed, and especially with this amount of Towering Titans, that can be very powerful, no doubt about it, because +8 just from the blue one alone, so you're coming in for 13. That's going to be very difficult. It's either going to force him a full card hand, or they're going to suffer from the crush effect from this. And his list, Rocco's list, takes full advantage of Towering Titan, and Crush the Weak is a well-costed attack that has a very relevant effect against Shane, Ira, and other decks as well. Heck, I'm fairly certain even someone like Bolton doesn't want to get hit by this plus Towering Titan. No doubt about that. And of course, Disable, that's not bad, I'm not gonna lie. 7 power for 5, that's actually not bad at all. And Debilitate that's more relevance now that there are more go wide decks. I mean, you got Ira, for example, and you also have access to you're fighting against Shane for that matter too, so that -2 can be helpful and decreasing their attack for that matter. Showtime. It's always good if you're going first and you're either playing Showtime or even Towering Titan or getting off a dominated attack. Those 3 options when you choose to go first are very good in this particular meta. Now, of course, let's have a look at Stamp Authority. While Stamp Authority is in the arena, attack action card effects do not trigger when they hit. Now, that can actually be a bit more relevant, more so, and even more so in the future, because Stamp Authority is probably going to be an answer against whatever Ranger is going to get. That is the class that always has a lot of hit effects, no doubt about that. And whatever they get in Kingdoms, there's no doubt they're going to get somehow, whether it's definitely some 6 power, maybe even 8 power, or even 7 power costed arrows. Stamp Authority will put a stop to that, no doubt about that. And you're probably wondering, why is this Raging Onslaught in here? Now, surely Rocco could have gone a single 2 copies of Blessings of Deliverance, but just remember, Blessing of Deliverance triggers on stuff that costs 3 or more, and he wanted to maximize it. It does defend for free, it comes in for 5, and it's a blue pitch as well. He has routing Rouse the Ancient. That's a very good choice right there, simply for extending plays. I like the fact that it's in here because it can do quite a bit, and he's got a decent amount of targets. He's got access to Spinal Crush plus Crippling Crush as ways, but he also has access to Cranial Crush. And typically, let's have a look. Is there any 7 power? Yes, there is. And there are some stuff in here that are coming in for always. Well, 5. Yeah. So, in conjunction with these 7 and 6 power cards, he's got a decent amount here. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 6, yep. He's got a decent amount for trying to get that roused agent off, especially in conjunction or even crippling crush for that matter. But and of course, last ditch effort, not bad an idea, especially if it's the last turn. You could really extend some plays. Let's see, for example, last ditch effort, go again, +4 and go again, attacking for 8. That's not bad at all. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get started with Mr. Andrew Yager's Dread Chain Blitz copy. Can't seem to remember if he came in further 4, but he was definitely top form, very certain. But now this is his Dread Scythe. Now he has changed it quite a bit. We got a couple of gameplay videos. Now if you look in this list, he has access to Dread Scythe. He also has access to E for Ironweave, particularly on certain matchups where you really want to go wide, and that resource is very good. Arcanite Skullcap for armor. Karen he tends to bring this when he's facing heavy hitting decks that want to launch very big attacks. Now, I definitely do like his equipment slot options that he has available to him, because in some matchups, he has a crowded dichotomy against various other builds, whether it's Shane builds or even Eviscerate. But I do like the fact that he brought on board Ebonfold, because that actually gives him options against, for example, the Wizard matchup. Having access to No Rune 5 on their burst turns where they're trying to kill you or put out big amount of damage. Throwing in that Spell Void and making it so. Some people underestimate Spell Void, but the real value comes from the fact when you can use it to great effect, especially on the burst turns, because it doesn't cost any resources, whereas Arcane Barrier does, and that can make a much more bigger difference, because the Wizard player tends to like to allow you to play non-attack actions first, and then once you swing, then he wants to catch you with a lot of resources out of your hand. It's a very tricky matchup, and Ebonfold enables you to play one more red card out of your hand and not have to worry, because you have access to it, so you can put more pressure onto the opponent, which is key. So having access to No Rune 5 with a single blue pitch, and then having access to Ebonfold and not costing any resources can be key for preventing those burst damage. But anyway, let's have a look here what we got here. Went through his list. He has access to 20 shadow cards that can be played from the banished zone, with Blood Depth for that matter. He's got the Battling Demigod, still good, of course. Commanding Conqueror, definitely good enough. So that way he has ways outs against Prism lists for that matter, or still even good against Ira, because they still like playing their Flick Flags. Aladdin Stark alongside with Soul Reaping, those can be some rather brutal turns where you are going Soul Reaping or E-Strike 5 go again, and evens. Actually, you can Soul Reaping, give it go again with Shane, and then E-Strike for 7, and that's a really mean combo, not gonna lie. Going into back-to-back, and also at the same time you're banishing a Blood Depth card, preferably. Anything that costs 1 or less, you can get a pretty good attack off. I do like the exude confidence in his list, because if you look right here, he's got 18 pitch blue, and he's got 18 red cards available to him. So he's definitely got the right ratio, and half his deck is blood debt cards that can be banished and played from the banish zone. He has the right ratio. But Exude Confidence is rather interesting, especially even against a Prism player if they play the Arclight Sentinel. Because if you slam this right away, what you can do there is you can pump it up, and you can do that multiple times, especially in this build because he's running the Dread Scythe for that matter. So he can threaten quite a bit of damage while still even holding up Snapdragon Scalers to extend the plays, making it much more difficult to block against, or preventing defense reactions, or play or activate instants. And this is very important because this ability right here shuts down Prism's ability if it's not being defended by a card with equal or greater greater strength. The defender can't play or activate instants or defense reactions in this combat chain, and that's a rather interesting concept right there. And it does have a single Howl from Beyond. I kind of like it, not gonna lie, because it allows you to go a bit taller in his build, and he does have the Unhallowed Rights for reshuffling his Seeds of Agony, plus he can reshuffle the Howl from Beyond for that matter. Not only that, Dimensional Gateway are actually no, only cards with what that. So he's got access to Howl from Beyond alongside with the Seeds of Agony, that's for sure. Shadow Puppetry, it's always good, and when you play this turn gains +1 go again, this attack hits, look at the top card of your deck, you may bash it. Go again, doesn't cost anything, may block for 2, but it's a very good effect. Soul Reaping, we know how good it is. Blitz format, it's practically your third E-Strike. What's not to like about that? Ooh, he put the Rift Bind in here. I do like this route, especially in conjunction. He's got Seeds of Agony, but he also has access to Howl from Beyond for additional effects for that matter. And he also has access to stuff like, let's see, even Modern Skies and Dimensional Gateway. He can go pretty tall with this build, no doubt about it. I like the flexibility of this list because it can either go wide, and it also has some tall attacks similar to Ira. Ira has some nut draws, but it's more defensive most of the time. But Eye of Video, that's not bad of an idea. I'm opting. Arranging your deck so you know what you're blood depthing, or even potentially drawing into with Art of War for that matter, which is not bad of an idea, to tell you the truth. Not bad at all. Invert Existence, of course, pay it from the banish zone. That is a good way to sneak in some sneaky damage. For sure. Invert, and it's a blue pitch, so it's versatile. Dread Triptych. Now, that is not bad of an idea right there, because it does create quite a bit of value in this. If you played a non-attacker, create a rune check. If you dealt arcane damage to turn, create a rune check. Dread Triptych, create a rune check, and it's good for extending plays for sure, no doubt about that. And no doubt about that, because extending plays, or you can even give it go again and set up the following turn much more deadlier, because you can come in with a Dread Scythe, a Dread Triptych, and be able to or even for that matter, maximize its effect and create 3 more extra rune check damage. Art of War, it's good, no doubt about that, and it's versatile. But not only that, we got Dimensional Gateway. Opt 1, look at the top card of the deck. If it's a Rimblade card, deal 1 arcane damage. If it's a Shadow card, you may bash and go again. It is definitely a blue pitch card. Good for versatility, no doubt about that. Effects and Malice, good for pushing damage from. Shadow Verser, good for extending plays. Mothering Skies can be good for extending plays while having to activate Shane for that matter. Mutated Mass. Now let's see how unique his list is, because its power and toughness is equal to twice the number of cards in your pitch zone with different costs. Now let's see. Yes, 0 cost. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Alright, so far for unique cost, and then 2, 4. He's got access to 4 2-drops, and then of course, let's see, for the 1-drops, he has access to 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 11. Yeah, I'd have to say he's definitely got enough. You may play it from the bounty zone. It's equal to twice the number of cards in your pit zone. So you can definitely get it up to 4. Reading that correctly, twice to the pitch zone. And on occasion, he does have some free cost in here. You can get that up to 6 with something like a trippage for that matter. And, that seems like a heavy attack, but also in conjunction with Howl from Beyond. Yeah, I could definitely see that happen. That's not bad of a beat sticker, and it can be played from the bounty zone. Not bad of an idea, to tell you the truth. So, he's definitely got it. Anyway, let's move on to the next list. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'll show you my Dory list. I definitely learned a lot, but I went 1-1-1 Snake Eyes because there was only 3 rounds, but I definitely did learn a lot. I had access to Dawnblade, Arcanite Skull, Cat Brave, Force Brace, Courage of Blade, All Spring Tunic, the usual known rune, Refraction Bolt, Valiant Dynamo, and I'm not certain where to bring in Valiant Dynamo for that matter. I tried against Ira in the last skirmish and lost against Ira, and you really got to be putting pressure on Ira and having access to sources of go again options. Sometimes you need to block, and you might have to use the go again cards to block, because you don't want to use sometimes you don't want to block with attack reactions, because you want to be able to overwhelm their defenses, because if you think they got a Fleck and Arsenal. But anyway, that's just a placeholder. I'm not certain if I ever will use it in Dorymphium, but maybe. Honestly, hard to say, but here's my list. We have 4 Iron Song responses. Sometimes you don't want to overcommit and see if you can pull out a defense reaction, and Iron Song Response Blue can be sometimes used in that way. See if they will do something about it. Sometimes you just don't want to feel like wasting a red version for that matter, because you might draw into it further down the road, and that could be the difference. For blood, for that matter, it's another attack reaction. But now plow through, the one thing I've noticed about this card here is anyone that plays heavy amounts of attack actions and they do block, plow through actually adds an interesting effect. And I run it over the usual red overpower, and the reason why is sometimes you can get that red overpower off, but consistency wise, if you look at that cost, this adds enough of an interesting effect for you to get over the hump, and it also makes them think as to how they're going to block, because if they block with an attack action, then it forces them to overcommit in some ways, because sometimes they like to block with cards in there out of their hand and not have to use up their armor, so it brings a lot of interesting choices. And I've noticed it does have an impact against Ira for that matter, because it makes them think about their choices. But I do run 2 routes, and you will find no overpower in this list, because I find routes good enough in certain particular situations. I like it for its effect, and running 2 also means people might not fully expect 2 routes. Most of the time they might expect 1. Sharpened Steel is good for pumping up the attack and not costing anything. And of course I run a single red Warrior's Valor to get some go again, because I recognize I need a little bit more go again. I have 2 blue Warrior's Valors for pitch value, or using it to force blocks out of the opponent. Sigil for the Wizard matchup. We've got Spoils of War for pumping and go again, and of course Steel Blade Supremacy for those nut draw turns. Stroke of Foresight for more attack reactions, but of course I do run the energy potions because sometimes they stop your Dory ability, and you have access to either a hidden run effect plus Spoils of War. Now I do run a bit more hidden run effects. Unconditional go again. I run 6 cards, 8 cards in the deck that can give me go again, and I like to do so because of the Twinning Blade package that I have here. I run 2 of them. I do run Singing Steel Blade, because who doesn't? And Iron Song Determination is what it is. Now I opted to put in a bit more defense reactions, Fate Foreseen blue, because and there are times to where you really got a question as to whether or not you're going to use the pay 1 just to activate Steel Blade Shunt on the defense reaction. Sometimes I like to be able to keep cards in my hand without having to pitch more for defense reactions, so I put those in for that reason. However, I see on Tower Number 9's list he runs the Springboard Somersault, and I could see why he does that, because it's more defense value. It provides decent amount of pitch value, because I was debating running that, but I opted for this so I could get some more blue pitch in here. But I'm probably gonna very much change this list, because I definitely learned a lot against Guardian and other players for that matter, and it seems like I need to be able to threaten run some more Warriors Valor for that matter. I'll probably go back and get rid of these, but overall I've had some success with this. But if you're playing really against an experienced opponent, I would have to say making them block in response to Warriors Valor because they recognize it, then they're more likely to try to block it or allow you to have go again because of that matter. But based on what I've learned, Guardian is definitely not a match you should sleep on, for that matter. And you should be very careful on what you choose, what kind of crush effects you allow through, and how you block with your armor. It's a really tricky matchup because, not gonna lie, Rocco really threw me off with what he had going on. No doubt about that for sure. But anyway, this is Mossar out with the Grim Aftermatch. So have a good day.